I love being a part of this group because it fired me back up. I used to write a lot in high school. And I challenged myself to take the voice of that high school kid to go back. You know, I'm a police officer. I've been on for 10 years. I have a college degree. And I have all these things going on. I work with kids in the community. But I was a knucklehead. I now admit it. I'm a recovering knucklehead. But it's a part of who I am. Yeah, my wife went slumming when she met me. But I challenged myself to take the voice of that 15-year-old kid, go back in time and remember what it was like, what 15-year-old boys from my neighborhood used to define love as. And so I challenged myself to write the short story, and here it goes. I'm trying to see if there's any references in here that I make that I might have to explain, but I don't think this one has any of those. Okay. The name of the short story is called Barrio Angels. Try to keep time. Barrio Angels. That's how we refer to our sisters from the barrio that were on the honor roll, but like kicking it with us bad boys when their poppies weren't watching. We called them angels because no matter how bad we were, they always seemed to have hope for us. Like it was their job to save us from ourselves. My mama called it save a bad boy syndrome. It was like some kind of phenomenon that could not be explained. We would lie to them and worry them sick as we got into trouble at school and on the streets. And still, they were there for us. It didn't matter what we got into, they stayed by us through thick and even thicker. We never understood what it was that made them want to save us. We often wondered if it was a curse that all Latina girls were born with. Both my sisters definitely had it. Shoot, even my mama had it for a while. Maybe it was just that natural mother's instinct. Whatever the reason, the Barrio Angels caught a bad rap for it. Even I used to wonder why they would waste their time and energy on us. I, for one, thought that we were a lost cause. When people would ask them why they wasted their time with us, they would always give the same excuse. I know he's bad, but he needs me. I can change him. They called it true love, and we were cool with it. When you're a 15-year-old little vato in my barrio, the only example of true love was waking up to the aroma of tortas de huevo con chorizo on a Sunday morning that mama had time to make right before she left her third job cleaning office buildings in downtown. At least that was true love to me. My mama once tried to teach me about the true love by making me sit with her and watch the telenovelas on Telemundo. I guess she hoped that I would learn something about true love from the super sensitive, handsome, thoughtful, perfect hombres from the shows. Man, she might as well have had me watching shows involving leprechauns, hanging out with Santa Claus, and the Easter Bunny. That's about how realistic those vatos were in my world. But my mother swore that if my father was half the man these vatos were, they'd still be married. I told her that when women at the bars always called him sensitive and handsome and perfect. She smacked me in the head as I reluctantly sat on the couch and prepared for my first lesson in manhood. The telenovela began. It was disturbing, but I lucked out as the lesson was abruptly interrupted by my mother yelling at her displeasure to the choice one of these perfect hombres made. He slept with his wife's sister. And right before I could say, hey, this guy's pretty cool, my mother threw a shoe at the TV and said, go play. Lesson learned? Nope. True love was still defined as something that was served on a plate with a side of tortillas on Saturday morning. That is, until I met Chela, my first Barrio Angel. Chela was a new student at my high school, the youngest daughter in her family. And like the other Barrio Angels, she was an honor roll student with a great future ahead of her. She too liked kicking it at the park where the bad boys played ball. At first, I didn't think I had a chance. Well, that, and she had 3 older brothers and a strict poppy. I didn't think an angel like that would have anything to do with a guy like me. Not to mention that she was dating a vato who was also on the honor roll. But luckily for me, fate would have it that she immediately became friends with the other Barrio Angels in chemistry class. I knew it was only a matter of time before she too was infected with the very contagious save a bad boy syndrome. It was my only shot. Maybe the other Barrio Angels would put in a good word for me. Between their blessing and my vato local reputation, Chela didn't have a chance. Besides, why would she want a smart vato with a future when she could have fun and get in trouble with a bad boy like me? It was up to me to show her the way and what she was missing out on. You all remember that tall, dark, and handsome guy in your high school that made all the girls squirm as he walked into the class? Well, I was that guy's best friend. The class clown. Luckily for me, my boy already had it at Barrio Angel, so she was mine for the taking. The only problem was, when she came around, I couldn't be funny. Her beautiful smile was throwing me off the game. No pressure, except for the fact that all the angels swore to her that she would like me because I was funny. But my powers were weakened in her presence. What's the use of being funny looking with big feet if you couldn't make people laugh? Eventually, I got myself together and started working it. Now, when a 15-year-old vato says that he was working it, it means doing stuff like showing up at her lunch period unannounced, sitting at the bench near the bus stop as she got off the bus, or coincidentally walking by as she came out of the girls' locker room, and my super-duper move, wearing the good cologne on Fridays so that she could remember what I smelled like over the weekend. You know, working it. It's amazing what a 15-year-old little vatos come up with when they're trying to communicate their feelings to a girl. After a few days of working it, she had to know that I was sweating her. After all, I let her supersize her #1 at McDonald's when we skipped class. And when we went to the movies on 2 for $1 night, I didn't even ask her to pay for half the popcorn like I usually do. Surely she knew that I was working it. I knew she was digging my chili too. But something more was happening. What do you call it when she's all you think about all day? When I woke up in the morning, my first thought was, how am I going to make her smile today? Whatever it was, I had it bad. What was happening to me? It's not like she cooked me a torta de huevo con chorizo with a side of tortillas. But I have to say, it was pretty damn close. This must be true love. After that, I did what every 15-year-old vato does when he falls in true love with the Barrio Angel. I made her a mixtape. No young kids, it's like an iPod for the younger ones. Eventually, I won her over and took her from the smart, nice kid with the future. It was on after that. I started ironing my shirts and fixing my hair even better than it already was. I found a job so she wouldn't have to keep paying for our movies. Sometimes I couldn't believe that she actually loved me as much as I loved her. I constantly asked myself, why me? What was it about me that made her want to be with me? I'm a class clown for crying out loud, a bad boy. Then the realization that someone so good chose me out of the bunch hit me. I better get my act together. God sent me an angel and there's no way I'm going to let him down. I started behaving in class. I started turning in my homework. I quit horsing around and thought, I got to be something so she could be proud of. I made my first A. So what if it was gym class? Wow, an A. Next thing I knew, I was researching colleges and thinking about the future. I knew in my heart that I was going places and I wanted her to be with me and proud of me. I was becoming a smart vato with a future, but little did I know. In the meantime, my angel, my Barrio Angel, has started hanging out with Juanito. What happened? What did I do wrong? Why is she cutting class with him? She used to love skipping class with me. I mean, I know I haven't cut school in a while, but he's a bad boy. I ran into her and Juanito at lunch. She had sad eyes when she looked at me. I had disappointed eyes as I looked back. She mentioned to Juanito, go ahead. Then she came to me. She looked up and said, I heard you made the honor roll. I'm so proud of you. I knew you can do it. I wanted to thank her for helping me and believing in me and basically being my motivation to get my life together. But the only thing that came out of my mouth was, why him? She replied with, I know he's bad, but he needs me. I know I can change him. My heart shattered into a million pieces and fell into the pit of my stomach. I think that next Saturday morning, my mom left the jalapenos out of the torta de huevo con chorizo on purpose. She knew I had heartburn. Now that's true love. Aww.